Due to illness, the roles of the nice guys on business today will be played by Phil Gerbershak and Nicole Holland. We apologize for the inconvenience.
It's okay that you've, quote unquote, crashed and burned, but instead of getting down and going to get that proverbial job, how do you turn that into a failing forward, a learning lesson to continue to move on? Because, and I'm sure, you do this too. As you talk to people, you're hearing tons of crash and burn stories. I do all the time. And I finally realized, like, every successful entrepreneur has a really good crashed and almost burned story.
I threw off his groove, the rhythm in which he lives his life, his pattern of behavior. I threw it off, and the emperor had me thrown out the window. Fortunately, my fall was broken by the nice guys on business. Need an education on how to grow your business? The nice guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, Funkin' fans, welcome back. Welcome back. You made it through another weekend. You are ready to start another week. So excited. My name is Strickland Bonner on the other side of the microphone and still on the other side of the country, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Mr. Doug Sandler.
Feeling good. Feeling Atlanta. Down in the ATL, baby. Wait, is today Monday? Is it all Monday all day today?
The 404. Yeah. Yes, it is Monday all day today.
Is this where Ruben Studdard was from?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think so.
I think so. Jeez, I'm sorry. I know I'm popping all over the place here. Sorry. Hold on. Let me put my advanced recording gear back in the way. Hold on.
Well, how are you liking Atlanta, by the way?
I do. I love Atlanta. Atlanta's really nice. It's cool here, but it's not cold. The housing market is amazing here. It's so your dollar stretches a lot further here.
True.
Their airport is a little bit crappy, but
well, it's huge. I mean, it's one of the biggest ones in the world, Atlanta Hartsfield.
Big airport. Traffic was a little bit messy, but I'm used to that in DC. But I am happy to be here. I'm happy to be with family and going to be enjoying. As we are listening to this now, we're beyond the Thanksgiving holiday, but as we are recording, the nice guys never rest. So I'm ready for my Thanksgiving meal, which is tonight. I'm just going to be good. Going to be good.
And for the rest of you, we hope you enjoyed it last week.
Yeah.
All good.
Hey, I think we have a sponsor today, actually, don't we?
Interview Valet, right?
Yeah, we have not really done Tom and his gang over at Interview Valet justice. We promised them all of these great, wonderful live recordings, and we've delivered. I would say we're getting maybe a C+.
What did we promise them? I don't know. Like, you mean intros and ads?
Well, he's been placing me on a whole bunch of shows. And I said, in exchange for placing me on a whole bunch of shows, we're going to do some advertising for him. Weren't you aware of that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Don't you remember this whole influx of leads that we've been getting for all of our podcast production business and listeners to our show and all that? You don't realize that you haven't felt the wave, the surge of energy, the surge of business come our way?
I didn't realize that was coming because you have been on other podcasts, but
okay. Actually, none of them have aired yet, but that's okay too.
Oh, okay then.
It's just the feeling. We're moving forward. So if you have a business promote, a service that you want to provide to the listening audiences of these podcasts, the best thing to do is be a guest. How cool would that be to get on shows that are specifically picked for you? I mean, that would be pretty cool. I think that would be a good thing to be on pod. Strick, do you believe in the message that podcasts deliver, which is to get your message out there, your services promoted, and your brand boosted? Are you a believer in that stuff?
I don't listen to podcasts. Are you kidding? No, obviously, Doug, I wouldn't be on here if I didn't believe in that. I totally do believe that. What's great with Tom and his team is that if you are not sure what to do, like you have a product, you have a service you want to sell, and you would love to get on other people's podcasts and basically talk about it, but you don't even know how to go about it, that's what Tom will do. Not only will he connect you with other great podcasters who have audiences that want to buy your products or want to hear about your services, he will teach you how to come off as the expert in your industry, like how to carry yourself, and I mean, just all the soup to nuts. He does it all.
You know what I think I love best about it too is that while Tom says that he runs the company, it actually is his wife Karen.
Oh, okay.
It's the man behind the scenes. It's
the woman behind the man.
Right, exactly. Well, she's not behind the man. She's actually shoving him out of the way to actually run the company. Doing a great job, Karen. So make sure you head over to interviewvalet.com, check out all their packages, and come on board. Let's get on the podcasting scene. Let's do it.
Did our guest today, David Mammano, come from Tom?
I don't think David did. I think David actually, I met him at through Jeffrey Hazlett with C-Suite, and He runs is his podcast called the Avanti Entrepreneur, or is it something?
The Avanti Entrepreneur Show. He has his own podcast as well. And I want to tell you what's funny. I'm on his website, which is davidmammano.com. It's Mammano. That'll be in the show notes, of course. And he's got a great picture of him like in his office, right? And in the background behind him, he has like a shelf full of books.
Yeah.
And he has a bobblehead on the shelf. It looks like it's a bobblehead of him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's got a book called Nice Guys Finish First, but
Ooh.
Probably doesn't. Can you see it on there?
I'm going to have to zoom in and try and find that. I'm sure your book is somewhere on his shelf. I'm quite sure it is somewhere. But it does look like it's a bobblehead that looks very much like him, but it's like way hiding in the background. It's really cool.
All right. Before we head over to the interview with David Mammano right here on the Nice Guys on Business, don't forget, if you're listening on Overcast, which we know 94.3% of you are, thank you so much. Make sure you take a moment, hit the little recommend button. It's right next to the play key. Go back as many episodes as you can. Just recommend our show. That will help keep us in the top rankings on Overcast. We don't really care about iTunes right now because they are not actually doing anything for us.
No, they don't care about us.
But they are carrying our show, which I think is where Overcast gets it. So we really can't diss them too bad.
I guess so. Okay.
I guess so. All right, so let's get to the interview with David Mammano right here on the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Game changers, listen up, because Dave Mammano is here. He's kicking ass and he's taking names. And I was first introduced to Dave through some highly successful people in New York, I think, and following his journey a bit through his podcast, his blog, his live events. I mean, this dude knows his shit. So, well, that's what a horrible intro. I mean, that's okay. We're gonna use that. We're gonna just go with this one, Dave. Well,
I'll take it.
Welcome.
I'll take it. That'll be my tagline.
He knows his shit. Welcome, Dave, my brother, to the. Wait, this is long overdue. What the hell took us so long?
You know, Doug, I don't know. I think it's because you become so popular that, we were talking about it, but I've been in the queue for quite a while.
You
right?
have been. When the hell did you fill out the application? Was it August?
My God, I was in August of last year. I think so. Yeah.
Listen, I only delayed because I wanted to make you feel like I was really extra important. I haven't had anything to do for the last couple of months, and we haven't been doing anything. It's fine.
Just hanging out, watching Oprah reruns.
Oh, geez, is she even still on the air anymore?
I think she's on the O Network to some extent, but since I don't watch TV hardly, I don't know. But I heard that the O Network was bombing, but because she wasn't on it. So I think she went on it just to give it a little love.
Fair enough. So, hey, why don't you share a little bit about your journey? We were talking about it before I hit the record button, but I think so much of what we were talking about is critical to make the connection between your journey and how you might be able to help those in our listening audience, our Nice Guy community. So why don't you share a little about your journey to get here?
Yeah. So really my journey is I'll say an entrepreneur's dream, because I have made so many freaking mistakes along the way. And I've done enough things successful so that I'm still here, that I feel I can be like the entrepreneur whisperer
right.
At this point. I mean, like 22 years later, I'm still here. Really, I started my business back in 1995, and it was a magazine for high school students. It was called Next Step Magazine, and we helped high school students with college planning and career planning. Started just very locally in Rochester, New York, my hometown. Next year, went to Buffalo, Syracuse, and slowly through franchising and corporate expansion, we covered the whole country. We're in every state, 25,000 high schools, 5 times a year. Book magazines, we're reaching like 3 million high school students per year. And it was free to the students. The way we were supporting it was selling advertising, mostly to colleges, banks, military, any organizations that wanted to reach college-bound or just, life after high school teenagers, Going really well. We were an Inc. 5000 company 3 years in a row, all these awards, accolades, kicking butt, making tons of money, on top of the world. And then that whole digital revolution showed up. And frankly, since you've already said ass, I'll say it. It kicked my ass. It kicked, teens, and print quickly became no longer cutting edge technology. And we just had to reinvent. And it was never the same. Like many magazines and newspapers, they go online, but they never are able to create the same mojo and revenue. So really struggled with that business. We still have it online. It's a shell of what it used to be. We really converted it to an online college planning curriculum that we license now to charter schools and boys and girls clubs. And that's kind of self-sustaining. But what happened was, in my kind of experience in getting my ass kicked and reinventing, just talking to people more and more, getting advice, learning, I said, this is really wonderful being able to talk to so many people. And I kind of like enjoyed almost interviewing them as I'm trying to reinvent. And then had the opportunity to start my own podcast and fell in love with it. So started, like you, I get to talk to people, and one of the best benefits of podcasting is this, like I learn a ton, right? So I started learning so much. I started coaching entrepreneurs, doing events for entrepreneurs. I'm starting a new magazine for entrepreneurs. And so really I've created a media company of sorts for entrepreneurs. In Rochester, I just started a local radio show. So at noon every Monday through Friday, I have a radio show locally for entrepreneurs. And I'm just interviewing between my podcast, my show, my magazine, and then I bring speakers to my events. I'm just really kind of aggregating the best of the best people that I can find to not only continue learning myself, but obviously share the wisdom that I can garner from them with my audience so that they continue to thrive and grow and learn. And so it's it's interesting. It's a very similar business model because, before I was creating content for teens and then selling ads to support it. Now I'm creating content for entrepreneurs.
I think you're making the connection between those two businesses because you have the entrepreneur mindset that says that everything is interconnected. I mean, and it's almost like, what is it about entrepreneurs? I mean, one day we're garbage collectors at our office, the next day we're in a suit networking to millionaires. It's like the composition of an entrepreneur is so, we use anything as an excuse to build a business. Right?
Right. Oh yeah. Well, we're the mad scientists, right? Like I joke that I'm the mad scientist and I'm really great at launching ideas and that birth phase, that messy birth phase of a new product. And then, I get it to a certain stage and I need help. But, really what I'm doing now, I feel like I could sustain this for a long time because my journey of building a great business and then having it really just collapse within a very short amount of time. And I've kind of stumbled because of that experience into this role of almost being like the host of entrepreneurship between everything that I'm doing. And I never would have been here, this end of the journey, without the roller coaster ride of my magazine. And so I'm just, listen, as you know, you're an entrepreneur too. We wake up at 3 a.m. and we're, and we're like, what the hell are we doing?
That was
right?
this morning. I'm telling you, it was 3 a.m. and I'm like, and then I'm listening to my podcast at 3 a.m. because I'm trying to okay, what did I say that made this happen to my world? What happened?
Right. Yeah. How did I mess up today? Right. And why am I doing this? And blah, blah, blah. But then, if you are a true entrepreneur, listen, it's your drug of choice, the highs, the lows, everywhere in between. You have to have the bad times to appreciate the good times. And, my journey has been crazy and wild and I love every minute of it. Wouldn't trade everything, every experience has been a building block to where I am today. And really, when I take a deep breath, I'm loving where I am today and I would not change a thing.
So help me understand just like the entrepreneurial journey again. I mean, is it a matter of just going in the direction that you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so great. You see this idea and you just start running 1,000,000 miles an hour in that direction. Tell me, what is the spark that goes off in your head that says that's a good idea?
Well, what's happened for me recently is I finally just said to myself, what do I really love doing? Like, what is like the one or two things that I love doing, my superpower, if you will, and how can I make money doing that? Like, a lot of people have passions, but they can't turn them into profits. They try to, and I always say, people say, oh, follow your passion. Well, yes and no. I mean, if your passion in business really doesn't have a revenue model, then don't follow it. Do it as a hobby, right? Do it as a hobby. But so I really analyzed myself. What do I like doing the most? And it really was just interviewing, talking to other successful entrepreneurs, learning from them, and then starting my podcast and now my radio show. And I said, geez, if I could just do more of this, what can I do to continue talking to business owners, entrepreneurs like yourself, and then monetize that? So what happens is a lot of my guests on my shows become customers. They like what I'm doing. They're like, oh, we want to reach business owners. Can we advertise on your podcast, your radio show, your magazine? Can we come to your events? Absolutely. Right. So it's kind of like almost everybody that I'm talking to potentially could enter my world, and we have a beautiful win-win.
So share, because you started this company, the Entrepreneur Group, or Avanti Entrepreneur Group, right? Why don't you share what that is so that we can kind of make the connection between the people who come on your podcast? I mean, so you have a hub for this entire program, and I'm assuming that's what Avanti Entrepreneur Group is.
Yeah, so AvantiEntrepreneurGroup.com is my main site. I also have DavidMammano.com, which is a little more some of the personal stuff I'm doing. But Avanti Entrepreneur Group, yeah, that's kind of the umbrella. I'll say that's the media company that houses the podcast, that houses the radio show, the magazine, our events, all the stuff. And I have a YouTube show now too. And so it houses all of the content that we're doing. And everything that we do is really super hyper-focused on helping beginning to middle stage entrepreneurs scale to the next level. And a lot of that is realizing that it's okay that you've messed up. It's okay that you've, quote unquote, crashed and burned. But instead of getting down and going to get that proverbial job, how do you turn that into a failing forward, a learning lesson, to continue to move on? Because, and I'm sure, you do this too. As you talk to people, you're hearing tons of crash and burn stories. I do all the time. And I finally realized like every successful entrepreneur has a really good crashed and almost burned story, what they did well is they did not let it end their journey. They said, all right, I'm going to keep on going. Winston Churchill has the quote, when you're walking through hell, like don't stop, keep on walking, right? Keep going, right. So keep going, keep on getting up every morning, working out, talking to people, doing what you got to do, because there really is, it is a journey. And when one door closes, they say another one opens. And I can almost predict that every entrepreneur I talk to has a story.
All right. And so your mindset though, what's so great about it is your mindset is that. You see, because I think that who said it? Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. It's like, right. I think that the people that get stuck in the failure and don't move beyond that, or takes too long to go beyond that, it's all in the attitude. I think that success is really is an attitude. I think that to get to the next level, when going through hell, keep going. There's many people that says when you're going through hell, just kind of hang out there for a little while, just feel the misery, let it wallow in it. And my attitude gets me out of that every single time. And I think that is what tends to lead to my being, at least getting to the point where I know that success is just around the corner, because I keep thinking success is just around the corner. Like the pony with locked in the room with all the shit. I mean, it's like, there's gotta be a pony in here somewhere. There's a whole bunch of shit just lying around. So I know it's gotta be in here.
Right.
So how is it that you get your head in the right spot? Was it from upbringing? Was it from experience? Tell me what puts your mindset in the right place.
I think part of it is I was born with this like incurable happiness disease. I'm not manic. I'm not depressive. If there's a line for normal and then there's a line for manic, I'm probably like stuck right in the middle of that line, and I never move. Like, people know me, they're like, Dave, you're always upbeat and happy. And maybe so. I do feel like happiness is a choice. You can certainly choose to be down, or you can choose to be happy.
Yes.
And then, and I eat well, I work out, I have great, cute little kids at home and a wife, and I love my business, and I drink red wine. And so I just do a lot of things that perpetuate my happiness.
And that's totally it. And I think Nice Guy community, as you're listening to this, just keep in mind, and I've had many conversations on the phone with Dave through the last couple of years since we've known each other. What I found so great is the spin, at least for you, and then sometimes that's all you need to do is put the spin on it properly for you, that you create. We have someone in common. I won't mention any names, but for the longest period of time, this guy was not blowing Dave off, but it was just like he wasn't connecting with Dave, and he involved Dave in something, then he canceled on Dave, and Dave's like, damn, I got to lean into it a little bit more. It's like you lean into the punches, expecting that the harder you get hit, the more successful you will be when you finally are able to land a punch in return.
Right. That's what Rocky did, right?
I guess. I mean, I'm so inspired by your positive motivation, and oftentimes, even though we haven't had the chance to work on a project or a business together at all, it's just, for me, it's like, these are the kind of people that if you align yourself with and you associate with and you hang out with, this is the kind of shit that rubs off on your business too, because you're like, he was just hit really hard and he got back up and you go, wow, what a great attitude. It's the attitude that's all the difference in the world. At least that's what I think.
Right. I agree with you completely. I mean, it's, it is, even if you aren't blessed with, I'll say the chemicals that I was born with to be, kind of naturally happy, you're almost wired to not be happy, because it's easy to think about the bad stuff happening. It is a very instigative strategy to a lot of people do gratitude journals and just meditate, and they do a lot of things to really put themselves in a mindset, but it doesn't happen just by chance. I mean, it's I think especially as the older you get, the more instigative you need to be with having an incredible attitude. It's a very purposeful, plotted path for me.
All right, so David, fill in the blank for me. I'm going to ask you to fill in the blank about it on the entrepreneurial journey. So, being an entrepreneur means that you must blank.
Being an entrepreneur means that you must be ready for the roller coaster ride with the ups and downs, the dark tunnels, the loops, being strapped in. You really have to be ready to say, okay, I am in this for the long haul. I am committed. I will always find a way. And I'm not going to view failure as an ending, but as a new beginning. And I'm going to learn, from every part of the journey.
Okay, so take me back to that moment when you realized that the business of old, the one that you had previous before you started with Avanti, when did you know this is over? And how did you pull the plug? I don't want to go beyond that. So how did you know that it was over, and when did you decide to pull the plug?
Well, it's funny. It's still not over. I mean, I guess I'm too stubborn to finally pull the plug. It's still online, right? But as far as the printed version, that is over. And I probably kept it alive about 3 or 4 years too much. So I would say in about 2008, 2009, a lot of my advertisers were saying, Dave, we love you. We love Next Step. We just don't want print anymore. What do you have for digital? And I wasn't listening. I would give them digital, but I still would push print. And I did that for like 3 or 4 years because I just love print. I mean, I ran the college newspaper. I delivered, Rochester's afternoon newspaper, the Daily. And, so I've always been a print guy selling advertising. So I just really wanted to keep it alive. And finally, about 2013, I said, you know what? This is getting crazy. Revenue's plummeting. The things are not looking good. It's time to take a deep breath. And at the same time, I was reading Walter Isaacson's bio on Steve Jobs and just how he reinvented over and over again, right? And I said, all right, I think we just have to take a deep breath and go back to the drawing board. And so really, it was 2013. I started on the journey of trying to reinvent.
And then you started these. When did you start doing these events with Avanti?
It was about 2 years ago. My first event was May 4th. I remember that. May the 4th be with you. May 4th.
Nice, good one.
Yeah, it just worked out. But May 4th, 2016. So, and what happened is, you probably know Norm Brodsky from Inc. magazine and great entrepreneur. Called him and said, Norm, I want to plan an event. I want you to have the keynote. Will you do it? And if so, when are you free? And he was like, David, anything for you. And let's look at the calendar. I could do it May 4th. Beautiful. So that's how my first event got formed.
And then you've had some pretty big names that have keynoted at your events. Can you share some names?
Well, we have had a lot of local people now in Rochester at our events. Coming up and I'm not sure when this is airing, but on November 1st, we're going to have an event in New York City, and we've got some really great names there. We have you probably have heard of Seth Godin, and so he's going to be there as well. Yeah,
never heard of the guy. Never heard of the guy.
Yeah, a little famous. I think he's blogged every day since 1950.
12. right. Great guy. I love his inspirational messages. So how do you get somebody like Seth Godin to say, hey, take a look at me, yes, I will speak for you? Well,
this is another great entrepreneurial story. So I planned an Avanti summit in New York. Now, the 3 I've done before have been in Rochester, right? So that's my hometown. I know people. The ambition of the entrepreneur, I said, all right, I'm going to New York. We're going to do an event in New York. And so I did it. I planned it November 2nd. Got some great speakers. And what happened was it's very, very difficult to get people to sign up. I got some sponsors having a really tough time to get people to sign up. I think there's just so many events and entrepreneurial activity in New York. So a friend of mine, Ramon Ray, who owns Smart Hustle magazine, he was having an event November 1st, and we met each other through Norm Brodsky, ironically. And Norm said, Dave's having an event on November 2nd. Why are you having an event November 1st? So Ramon called me, Dave, let's combine. What can we do together? And I had some great speakers, but he had Seth Godin, who really is like the kingpin. And I said, all right, let's do this. Why don't we combine our events? I'll move the Avanti Summit into the Smart Hustle Summit, or the Smart Hustle Conference, and we'll do a combined event. High tide raises all the ships. So we got very entrepreneurial. We said, what can we do together? And we figured out a way to partner on this event together. And he already had Seth Godin because he's known Seth for quite a long time, 15 years. And I think Seth has been kind of a mentor to him as well. And Seth does that event every year. So I got to ride on the coattails and look pretty good.
That's exciting. That's exciting. So share with me, do you relate more to smiles and handshakes or computers and social media?
I relate more to hugs. I'm a hugger. Yeah. No, I'm not. I use technology. I embrace technology. I'm amazed at technology, but I much prefer, as I say, belly to belly, meeting people, and I'm an old fashioned. I love to see the person if I can.
Totally can relate. I mean, I'm definitely a relationship guy. I've since this reinvention about a handful of years ago of my career, it's just been amazing how much the technology has come into my life, between social media and computers. It's crazy. I mean, I still love the relationship side of things, but you really can. At least I think you can build a relationship through technology that almost feels like you are literally sitting next to the person that that you're developing the relationship with.
Well, I started listing it's funny you mentioned this because I started listing all the technology, all the programs I used during my day. And so let's go back first. So when I started my career in 1991, it was my first job in radio sales. I had a Rolodex, for those of you that know what that is, and I had a phone and my mouth. Right. I mean, that's what I had in sales. Right. And that's what everybody had. And now I think I start my day with my email program, my calendar program. And then I'll go on LinkedIn and Facebook and I'll do some, social stuff, professional and personal. Mm-hmm. I use Infusionsoft. I have a CRM tool, where I'm using LinkedIn now for some of my sales processes. I just, started this new program called Lead IQ. I probably touch and use about 10 to 12 programs every day to run my business. And we all do. I mean, you think about it, right? It's like, wow. Like today, you and me, we connected on Skype and we switched over to another recording program. So, and so to think 20 years ago, none of this was here, right? And it's pretty insane how we're embracing technology today.
So paint a picture of where you want to be in your dream future that you want to get your hands on. I mean, where are you? What are you doing? Are you still running events? Are you doing more of the grand media scheme of things? Where do you picture yourself?
So like my BHAG, right? Is that what you're asking?
Sure. Well, I'm just curious because I have gotten to know you and I know that you're a big thinker. Mm-hmm. And what's great about it is oftentimes I see my friends' goals all come to reality. So I'm just trying to figure out if I want to align myself closer with you. I want to see if your goals are the same as mine.
Yeah. Well, listen, we might have some competition and maybe we'll team up. But really, I've been telling people that I would love to be like the Larry King of entrepreneurs. I would just I love interviewing people. Really loving combining that with events in my new magazine. So really being the Larry King of entrepreneurs with a really successful entrepreneurial media company.
That and I see you there. I totally see you there. No competition at all. You can have that role. Can I just be your Ed McMahon? I'm happy to do that. If I can do less work but almost make the same amount of money, I'm feeling good about it.
That I think that's a partnership made in heaven. I love it.
You never know. Hey, the show is actually airing after the November 1st date. So unfortunately, if you're listening to this, you've missed the opportunity to see Seth Godin up in New York as a part of Dave's program. But I know that he's got other stuff that he has planned. So how can our Nice Guy community, our hardcore fans, our Funkin' fans, how can they get in touch with you if they want to find out more about getting together at some of your programs?
Yeah, there's three ways. I mean, you can go to Avanti, entrepreneurgroup.com. You can go to davidmammano.com, or you can just throw me an email at david@davidmammano.com.
And we will make sure we put all of that information right there in the show notes. I know Mammano is spelled 1,700 different ways. Make sure we do that.
It is.
All right, final. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just Mammano. A lot of M's. And then.
Oh, now you've just confused them. I'll put a link in the show notes. David, come on. Don't you have a podcast? Everybody's driving when they're listening to these fucking things.
Pull over and spell Mammano. Come
on. Have you ever thought about going into the pizza business?
Here in Rochester, there's so many Italians here. There's like a pizza shop and a Catholic church in every corner. So, yeah.
So final words of advice, those that are out there looking for action items, something that they can actually use as a walk away. They want to have something from this show. They say, Dave, that was a great podcast because you gave us this action item. Give me one thing that you do on a regular basis. It's an action item that would help them.
So I'm going to give something very, very practical. Maybe you're expecting something inspirational, but I'm going to give something very practical.
No, man. I wouldn't expect you to give me anything that would actually have any legs here.
Setting the bar very low for Dave. I appreciate that. So, but really, you know what I do? I get up first thing in the morning and I good old fashioned paper, pen to paper. I have a notepad that I carry around every day, and I write down one thing that I'm going to get done that day. one priority, like, damn it, I am going to get this done today. It may be a proposal. It may be, an appointment that I'm like going to do whatever I need to get. It's a project, but what am I going to get done today? Just the one thing, because, Cameron Harold, a friend of mine, he says something that really hit me. Like he said, if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none, right? Because you get nothing done. So I'm really, super hyper focused. Let me just get one thing done every day, and I think I'll be more productive than most other business owners.
Man, that's good. I mean, minor things like return your phone calls, return your emails, be on time. It's like the things that it is so amazing that the ladder of success, the rungs are such simple things in the course of your day. It's almost like you could take that, just do one thing a day, just write it out and make it your goal to achieve that at the end of the day. You can translate that into any business that you go into. It does not have to be a specific career path.
Right. Yeah. No, it's we'll call it a life hack.
Exactly. Dave, man, I appreciate you being here so very much. And how's that relationship with Lolly Daskal working out for you?
Lolly is the best. Lolly, if my wife is listening, I'm sorry, but if I was not married, I would be going after Lolly. I love Lolly. Like the coolest person ever.
Yeah. So is she have an opportunity to speak at any of your conferences or any of the things that you have going on?
Well, one of the fallouts from the November 2nd networking out, she was going to be speaking at my November 2nd conference, but because of the switch, she couldn't do November 1st. If you know Lolly, she's like, completely booked for the next 5 years, cause she's so talk about the model of efficiency and priorities getting done. But so unfortunately not at this point, but I would love to see if we could do something like that in the future. Cause I think she's one of the most powerful women and coaches out there.
Totally agree with you, man. Hey, I appreciate you being here and sharing your inspirational message on our Nice Guys podcast. Thanks for being a part of it today.
Thank you, Doug. That was fun. That was great.
Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice or the power of moving Lolly Daskal's schedule. It's impossible. Special thanks to Dave Mammano for being on the show today, brother. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Call 4242 DJ Doug and record an intro for the show to hear on a future episode. Say anything you want. Hell, take my job. I'm getting sick of these guys anyway. We still rolling? Don't tell him I said that.
Although, can I show you something on David Mammano's website that I like?
You have to.
You see this?
No, wait, I can't. Hold on. I'm not.
Oh, you're not looking at your screen.
I will. Oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay, but you see this?
Yeah.
It's not huge here. It's like, it's right there. Now it stays, it locks, but it's like, it's small. It's in the corner. I just like it there. I hate over here and big. And
what are you saying? Are you saying that?
Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, right? But you see,
when you go to my site,
right?
Yeah, I like it. It's really huge. You can't miss it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Oh no, I went to DougSandler.pitch because I guess I had that. They're not as big as they used to be. I'm okay with that. That's not so bad.
You told me to make them small. Look how many times it's been shared. 824 times.
You and your ego again. You just got to see the number.
Look at our great articles over there on the right-hand side.
No, that's cool. I love that. Did we even mention our new one? Hey, look, it's a pop-up. Anyway.